What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Welcome to the RNEWS Evening Show. And let's just jump into it. From r/news, Amazon blocks sale of merchandise with standback and standby. Products containing an American president's quotes have been banned on one of the world's largest websites for spreading hate and violence. Think about that for a second. The only shocking part to me was how quickly Amazon moved to pull a moneymaker off the shelves. I guess all of our screaming does something sometimes after all. As an American, I'm beyond embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed, I'm frightened. I'm more pissed than frightened. The fricker was given the opportunity to say, "I condemn white supremacists," and beat around the bush. When Biden had the opportunity to say it, he did. It was the most simple question of the night and he made it difficult. He didn't beat around anything. He cheered them on and gave them orders. Edit. Thanks, stranger. Every time someone mentions Proud Boys, I always think it's our LGBTQ group. It is on Reddit. Proud Boys, the actual PB, could not withstand LGBTQ Redditors and they lost the war for the sub. Which is why every PB rally should include an impromptu gay pride parade and drag pageant. Ugh. We have to do everything around here. That said, we love a parade. Set your phases to stunning. Amazon is more effective at curtailing hate speech than Facebook. Proud Boys. Never heard of them. Trump. You're watching the RNews show. From r/politics, Debates Commission plans to cut off mics if Trump or Biden break rules. Imagine lacking such self-control that you become the first presidential debate candidate and/or incumbent that requires their mic feed to be forcefully muted. I guess that's another historic first for good old 45. Edit. It has to occur, and I have no doubt in my mind it's going to occur. Yet the media continues to act like both candidates caused the chaos. They're only doing this because their guy got pummeled last night, he said in a statement. President Trump was the dominant force and now Joe Biden is trying to work the refs. They shouldn't be moving the goalposts and changing the rules in the middle of the game. Tim Murta, communications director for the Trump campaign, par for the course. Unfreaking believable. Why not both? In what was supposed to be a debate about ideas and policy, Trump talked over Joe, interrupted him, attacked his children and demonstrated to anyone with two brain cells to rub together that Trump has no ideas. None. Trump has not grown. He has not learned. He is still not knowledgeable or informed. Yet, because he was loud and rude, the Trump camp sees it as a win. Trying to move the goalposts? No. The refs are just deciding to actually enforce the rules both candidates agreed to in advance. We have decided that, although we did not throw a flag for it in the first quarter, we are going to flag the teams for having more than 11 men on the field. As one team has continually trotted out 20 men on the field, bias. Moving the goalposts. Absurd. Quote. You're watching the RNews show. From r/World News, right-wing Trumpist news site busted as Putin troll farm operation. Does anyone else miss the days where conservatives actually disapproved of Russian attacks on the integrity of our elections? That was before Russia became a thing they loved. A petro-state run by oligarchs where any uppity liberals get shoved out a window and then smugly denied to troll them further. And the fake church is venerated and the gays are murdered in the streets and the women do as they're told. It's like a 1950s paradise. Except we've put the high taxes on the rich and the strong unions. They always forget that part in their delusional bigoted leave it to beaver dreams. Oh, you mean the two parts that actually made America great? You forget those stupid people that want free elections also get poisoned. I can't believe everyone isn't going nuts about Trump literally saying, 16 more years. This guy wants to be Putin so bad it hurts. He either dies in the White House or in a cell. He's backed himself into a corner and those are the options. Option 3, the ending of Scarface. Except it's a mountain of Adderall instead of cocaine. Say hello to my little hands. Weird. So many links between Russia and Donald Trump. Oh well, back to hating black people and pretending COVID isn't real or isn't that bad. I forget lol. Quote, Republican voters. You're watching the RNews show. From r/politics, Don Jr., Ivanka, Eric, and Tiffany Trump didn't wear masks during his showdown with Joe Biden. breaking the venue's rules. And they'll sadly face no repercussions. Not by humankind, maybe by nature though. Nature, I'm not touching those slimy fricks. In a statement released earlier today, COVID-19 confirmed it is in self-isolation, following exposure to the Trumps. Nature has already been pretty unfavorable to Eric. Hi, I'm Eric. Quote. You sure are, buddy. Quote. He was born super rich, that's pretty favorable if you ask me. Now, that rich is extra questionable. Regardless of whether or not the actual riches are valid, they've been allowed to live as if they are rich. So it seems kind of like a moot point to me. If anything, that makes the whole thing more absurd and offensive, because they've basically welfare queened off of the American people and tax system to present rich, regardless of the actual monetary value of the family. Will you shut up, man? Pay attention, rules and laws don't apply to Trumps. Then why the hell were they allowed in? No wonder they never think rules apply to them. Because they don't. They wore the masks in and then took them off after they got to their seats like the rednecks do at Walmart. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. David Attenborough calls for global $500 billion a year investment in nature. Trump announces the USA is good for $750. We should get the climate on to frick him. That way at least we might get a couple $100,000 from him. Even if he raped the Earth, which he certainly is trying to do, the Earth can't sign an NDA, so he wouldn't pay it anything. The fact that we can't even put 0.35% of global GDP towards an existential crisis that threatens our entire species. Which is why the human race is pretty dumb in the grand scheme of things. It's starting to look like we're reaching the answer to the Fermi paradox. Climate change was our great filter and I don't think we're going to make the cut. I've been thinking the same. If other beings are carbon-based, it's not hard to imagine a scenario where they would have fossil fuels to burn. I bet this isn't the first time a civilization has screwed up their planet. Yeah, right. David Attenborough just wants to put microchips in all the trees so he and Bill Gates can watch us get it on in the forest, half of America apparently. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. The body of a 22-year-old woman, gang raped and murdered, was cremated by the police in Hathras village in India, without permission of the family. The police restricted the family members from performing the last rites and allegedly locked up relatives of the victim to stop them from protesting. According to the family, the police had at first accused the woman of lying about her injuries. The police had initially registered an attempted murder case but added rape charges only after the woman's formal statement a week after the incident, when she was able to speak. Yesterday, a senior officer said rape had not been confirmed and they were waiting for a forensic report. There are not enough faith in humanity restored memes available on the internet to filter out this kind of injustice. They are doing their best to cover it up. That's what the government in India right now is very good at, distracting the public, and hiding what they can't distract from. Meanwhile, media houses are busy covering reports of drug abuse by famous celebrities for the sake of sensationalism since more than 2 months. And the blind herd-minded viewers enjoy it without questioning what's happening. India has always had a serious problem with sexual violence and women's rights. This seems to be a clear destruction of evidence, presumably pointing to the guilt of police officers or powerful officials. Ashamed to call myself Indian. Every day, news like this is only nightmare for me, and we'll have many Indian Redditors come here and defend the actions of the police. Don't be surprised, they will victim blame the person who was raped. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like, and if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show and I'll see you tomorrow.